When looking for a new electric bike, we all want a quality e-bike that will last. But time and again, we see customers come in frustrated because they've spent $1,500 just to have a bike with massive issues or that doesn't work at all. Usually the bikes that are at this price point, well, there's a reason they're at that price point. But a high quality electric bike shouldn't have to break the bank either, especially with a commuting or leisure eMTB. All you need is a regular bike, a solid motor, and a nice battery that will take you on a comfortable ride. So today, we are going to be checking out some high quality electric bikes that hopefully won't have you maxing out your credit card. Now we are setting this price point at below $4,000 because it keeps you less than the median price paid for most electric bikes, and it should get you on something top quality. Let's go for a ride. The first bike we're checking out is the Highbike Trekking 1.0. The Highbike Trekking series has always been a bit of an anomaly within the commuting world because they offer hardier frames in the style of Highbike's electric mountain bikes that made them famous in the States, but with a commuting sensibility to them. The Highbike Trekking 1.0 represents a move towards a more basic commuter, but that saves you a ton of money. This bike comes in at $2,600. But you've got everything you need for a nice starter commuter. Now this one, the Trekking 1.0, is going to be a Class 1 with a Bosch Active Line motor, 50 Newton meters of torque on there, which is actually still a fair amount of power, I would say, for most people. In addition, the Bosch Active Line Plus motor gives you the ability to go over 20 miles per hour a lot easier than most other electric bike motors. It's a 400 watt-hour battery, so you'll want to keep your commutes to about 20 or 30 miles, but you probably could go beyond that if you're saving a little bit of power. You're getting an Acera 8-speed derailleur, and also just everything you would need to start becoming an electric bike commuter or an electric bike leisure rider. For $2,600 to get into the e-bike game these days on a Bosch motor is pretty rare. It is definitely a no-frills ride, but it will get the job done if you're just looking to get from point A to point B. Let's check out the next bike. Next up is the Cube Touring Hybrid 1500. This is another fantastic commuter from a company known for its stereo hybrid eMTBs. You can see the eMTB influence in things like the 100 millimeters of travel in the front fork for added comfort and the more aggressive geometry when compared to your traditional commuter. This bike has all the trappings of an excellent commuter bike, including a Bosch Active Line Plus motor that is going to have 50 Newton meters of torque, just like the Highbike before it, 30 to 50 miles of range on a 500 watt-hour battery that is integrated, so if you're into that integrated look, this will be great for you. Integrated lights, fenders, a rack, everything you would want on a commuter comes on this bike. You've even got the choice between a standard step-over frame and a low-step wave easy entry frame for those of you looking for a more comfortable commute. Of course, you're getting Class 1 speeds like the rest of the bikes on this list. That means you're capped at 20 miles per hour in terms of assistance. But again, this Bosch Active Line Plus motor is excellent for going past 20 miles per hour thanks to its enhanced decoupling. Your climbing capability and overall power that you can put into the motor is enhanced by a 38-tooth chainring in the front and also a Shimano 9-speed derailleur in the back on an 11 to 36-tooth cassette. You'll also get pretty hefty braking power from Shimano hydraulic disc brakes when you are descending on this bike. It's definitely going to go downhill pretty quick too if you lock out that front fork, thanks to the thinner tires that Cube keeps on this bike. Those are going to be 47C wide on the Ranger Cruiser tires. You get all of this for well under that $4,000 mark, coming in at $2,999. I think this bike offers an incredible value. Again, you get the look of that integrated battery. Cube does an excellent job of setting you up with everything you're going to need for a commute or a leisure ride on a bike that is under $3,000. Pretty solid option. Let's see the next one. The Gazelle Ultimate C380 HMB has made some massive improvements from last year's iteration, the Gazelle Ultimate T10. It's got an NVOLO stepless hub along with a Gates carbon belt drive. This upgrade turns this Class 1 commuter into one of 2021's best, makes it worry-free, and is as efficient as it is sexy. You've got the Bosch Performance Generation 3 motor offering 65 Newton meters of torque, along with a 380% gear range offered from that NVOLO hub. Again, that is a stepless hub, so there are infinite amount of gears within that gear range, but it turns it into a climbing beast for easy hills for, I would say, at least 30 to 50 miles, no problem, thanks to a 500 watt-hour battery as well. On the way back down the hills, Shimano Dior hydraulic disc brakes offer plenty of stopping power, and of course you are getting integrated lights front and rear, just as you would come to expect from Gazelle. Very comfy grips, along with a suspension seat post and a front suspension fork that offers a ton of comfort. Coming in at $39.99, this bike just barely squeaks in under the $4,000 mark, but you can tell why it is one of the more expensive bikes on this list when you look at the specs and the quality of the build. What I love about this Gazelle Ultimate C380 is that everything about it is just smooth. That new Bosch Performance Line motor is quiet. It's a really powerful ride too. I was very surprised at how powerful it was. I would say it's just as good of a commuter as it is a leisure upright bike. An excellent option for someone who's looking for a bike under $4,000. Let's check out the next one. Our final pick, and probably the bike that I would choose as my personal Class 1 commuter, is going to be the Cube Kathmandu Hybrid 1500. These Kathmandu hybrid bikes were sought after like crazy in the States last year, but you could hardly find them, and we are so glad that they have made themselves available this year. With the Bosch Generation 4 Performance CX motor, Schwalbe Big Bend tires, and fully adjustable stem, this bike offers a ton of comfort and a ton of power. I really love the look of these bikes, coming in standard, step-through, and fully easy entry frames. You also get all of this power and comfort in even their base model, the Cube Kathmandu Hybrid 1500, for just $34.99. Again, you get all this power starting at this base model. You can go up from here too with bigger batteries, better components, if that's what you're looking for. At that $34.99 price point on this Kathmandu Hybrid 1500, you are going to be getting a 500 watt-hour battery on the Bosch Performance CX motor. That is going to be about, I would say, 50 miles in terms of what you're looking at for the range, and you are getting 85 newton meters of torque, which means you're not only getting comfort, but you are getting a ton of power to climb up pretty much any hill, and for most people's commute, 500 watt-hours is going to be plenty of battery. The drivetrain helps this powerful motor and battery along with the Shimano derailleur that has 9 speeds. That is going to be on an 11 to 36 tooth cassette in the back and a 38 tooth chainring up front. They take advantage of the Bosch Generation 4 motor's ability to have those bigger chain rings, and boy does it show on the climbs. This also means on the downhills that 20-mile-per-hour cutoff is not going to be a problem getting past. Your group set is rounded off with Shimano hydraulic disc brakes. You are going to want this type of stopping power when you are getting up to speeds as high as you can on this bike. So I'm really excited to see those as well. Of course, much like the other Cube Class 1 commuters, it is pretty mountain bike inspired. You're still getting that 100 millimeters of travel in that front fork. It's going to be a Suntour fork up front. That adds a lot of comfort, as we mentioned, but also a fair amount of safety if you have a very bumpy commute. Having that give in the front fork and those bigger tires is going to be massively important if you do run into any sort of potholes or anything like that out on the roads. Riding the Kathmandu Hybrid is truly a dreamy experience. Again, having that extra power with that Bosch Generation 4 Performance CX motor. This is the only bike on this list that we could really find that was under $4,000 that is offering that motor, and that offers a ton of other comfort features as well that gives you that amount of power when you need it. So if you're looking for a powerful commute, this is going to be definitely the way to go, I would say. Of course, you're getting things like integrated lights and also an integrated rear rack, so it is set up as a full-on commuter. But again, I really like these commuting bikes that have that eMTB influence. They offer some extra components that a lot of the times you wouldn't see from a straight-up commuting company. I really love what Cube has done with the Kathmandu this year. So those are going to be our top 4 choices for the best 4 commuters under $4,000. All of these bikes should get you commuting, leisure riding, and wanting to ride on a way more frequent basis because they're offering a ton of comfort, some excellent power, and just an overall fun experience. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the Fly Rides electric bike channel, you guys. Leave a comment below. Let me know if I missed anything, if you got any bikes for under $4K that you think might offer some nice quality. And until next time, enjoy the ride.